Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Footy Travellers podcast.
Fellow Footy Travelers, welcome back. It has been a while. And Mike, welcome back to you, my friend.
Good to be back with you, Colin. Just potting it up like we know best. This is my favorite time. It's just seeing you across the way virtually.
Favorite time of the day, of the year, or just in general?
Generally, just favorite time. These are quality moments. Yeah,
they are. Well, that's very touching. Thank you. But fellow Footy Travelers, back to you all. I'm sure you're wondering, where the hell have we been since January? I think our last episode was our look back at 2024, which was a good year. Where the hell have we been? What the hell have we been doing? Mike, why don't we start with you? What have you been up to through what is now, like the first 3 quarters of 2025?
Crazy. That's crazy.
I haven't really done anything since January.
Yeah. I think I was in need of a little bit of a chill out from a pretty frantic 2024. You can call this just like an extended hangover, maybe. It was a lot. Summer into fall into winter was constantly on the go, not really settled in one place, which is great because, we're footy travelers. That's we were seeing the footy, we were playing the footy, we were doing it. And so, I, at this time last year, we were enjoying a lovely autumn in Denver together.
Celebrating someone's birthday, maybe.
That's true. That's true. At one Red Rocks. But this year has been very different. This year has been a little bit quieter, but I needed it, and I'm ready to roll now. I'm like ramping up for 2026.
Let's roll. 2026 is going to be huge. Yeah. We're here.
What about you? What about you, though? You've had a different kind of year.
Yeah. Busy for sure. Just kind of living 2025. Once we put that last episode, it was winter. And winter's kind of usually when I prep for coaching in the spring. So I had a good spring season with my U16 boys. Got to work on a really cool video project, actually, with the Colorado Rapids supporters group Centennial 38. They officially named the supporters section, like the physical space in the stadium. So I helped them make a bit of a promo video for that. Welcome to the South Bank if you're coming to visit the C38 supporters section at Dick's Sporting Goods Park, a.k.a.
The Dick.
The Dick.
I mean, branding is important, and, the South Bank is, just one of the new branding elements of the Dick. So I'm just looking forward to the North Bank.
You gotta keep the Dick fresh and new and just like.
Well, is the bank sort of rounded, and is there a second bank that is maybe below or beside the other bank where it really just sits adjacent to the Dick?
2 banks, I think.
Yeah.
With like the field just kind of right there.
Sperm banks. I mean,
we went there. I don't know if there's a sperm bank that sponsors the Rapids or the supporters group, but yeah. But that was fun. That was cool. It was a good project, and otherwise, just really doing a lot of new stuff with Footy Travelers. So, listeners, if you only check out the podcast or only check us out on YouTube, you may have missed the fact that we launched a monthly newsletter back in February.
What are you doing if you're only listening to the podcast? Consume more content.
We're here for you. We're putting out all the stuff. But yeah, taking some trips. We did the London weekend in May. Went to the Arsenal Newcastle game. My first time at the Emirates. Super solid weekend with some really good friends in London. And then did another European trip actually recently to Switzerland and jumped down to Como, Italy for a day.
Yeah.
Just missed, go figure, the Como Cup by 5 days. But don't worry, the souvenir shop was still open when I was there. Came back with some stuff. may or may not be an Instagram giveaway to be keeping your eyes peeled for. So just put that out there.
Do I qualify for this giveaway?
I'll give you something else.
Okay. Just change the rules. Like, let's rig this a little bit. I mean, there's enough rigging going on in this world. Like,
if we're on our way to the ranks of FIFA, then maybe we just start with our own internal corruption. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
I
think we're better than that.
I think we're better than that. Well done. Well said. And then, all that before we really even maybe start to talk about this whole summer of soccer we just experienced. There was some Icarus cupping. There was, there was something else really awesome this summer. I don't know why it's not coming to me now, but you know what?
Yeah,
we're not here to talk about this.
I think it's worth. I think it's probably worth mentioning. I mean, we were talking about FIFA.
You'd love to talk about this past summer, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably worth a mention that my club, Chelsea, won the FIFA Club World Cup. Once again, world champions.
Once again.
Yeah.
When was the first time?
In 2002.
Oh, they won another, like the first version of the Club World Cup?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair.
I think it was
not going to lie, I wasn't paying attention back then to the Club
Most people weren't, but that's okay because they won it again this time. And so, relevancy is important. But this isn't about me as much as I want it to be. We have a bigger, more important topic to discuss, which is next summer, the big summer that we've been waiting for a very long time. We are here to talk about World Cup 2026.
94.
Yeah.
Waiting for 94. A very long time.
A very, very long time. And so I would say arguably one of the most important parts of the World Cup is the ticket purchasing. Because how are you going to experience it if you don't have tickets? Well, we have... Yeah, you could experience it in other ways, I guess, too. But we probably want to share what we know so far about how to get tickets. And unfortunately, it does seem like it's a bit of a moving target with FIFA lately. But we figured it would be worth, at least divulging some information that we do know because we get asked about it a lot. And we want to be able to educate the people that are interested because we want all the good people at these matches.
That's why we're here. We're here for another Need to Know episode. This time, we're talking about World Cup 2026. You mentioned kind of that moving target. It seems like FIFA has adjusted some of their approaches to ticketing, as evidenced by using Ticketmaster for the Club World Cup. I know they followed the Copa America a little bit with that. But tickets are going to be on sale very, very soon. And we're not talking about these crazy expensive, hospitality packages that have been out for a little while now. We're talking about actual butts in seats, stadium seats.
We're talking about butts?
We're talking about butts.
Wow.
As long as there's a seat for them. Just kind of, regular tickets, general sale tickets for regular people like you and me. So let's go through everything you need to know, NTK, about phase 1 of ticket sales for FIFA World Cup 2026. So just to make it a little more fun, I think, we're going to do this as a quiz.
Ooh.
We're going to see how well each of us has read up and prepared for this very incredibly important first Need to Know episode for World Cup 2026. I believe you have your questions there in front of you. I have mine over here. But why don't I let you start off and ask us the first question?
Such a gentleman. Chivalry isn't dead, everyone. Look at this guy. My first question, how does phase 1 actually work?
Ooh, that's actually, that's a big question. Is this a multiple choice or an essay?
Field it however you may.
I think we might need one of those essay blue books for this one.
And a number 2 pencil.
Yes, definitely. I say that because I think it requires a little bit of context. Phase 1 for World Cup 2026 is going to work very similarly to how previous phase 1s has. There's some similarities, but there's also some very important differences. Things that are the same are, one, it's happening before the draw. So we don't know which countries are in which groups and thus what group stage matches they'll be playing in, beyond the host countries, of course. It is an application-based phase, or as they say, a random selection process. Anytime someone preemptively claims something to be, or a process to be random, I'm a little suspicious of it, but
especially this organization.
Maybe. Conspiracy theories aside, the other thing I think is worth noting is that you need a FIFA account to access the application. If you don't have one already, I mean, at this point, you probably should have registered your interest. You should have a FIFA account, but if not, make sure you have one of those. And then I'd say, a piece of good news is that it's not the only phase. It is just phase one. These are not going to be the only tickets available. That said, it is an application phase. And if your application is successful, here's a major difference. In the past, you would get tickets that you applied for. You don't get actual match tickets this time. You only get an opportunity to purchase tickets. And the tickets that you're going to purchase are based on availability. Boo. So basically, you're just getting a place in line. And when it's your turn to step up to the register, hopefully there's some tickets available that you're interested in. I wish I could say more on what that looks like as far as the application. If you're still nonetheless applying for specific matches like you could in the past, is it going to be just like fill out a form, apply, and then have that form pulled, and then you just go into your ticket time slot or whatever and just take it from there? I don't know. We don't know what that will look like.
That'll be weird. And I could make the argument that it could be both ways. You could show your interest and try to, but I think it's just going to be like a lottery, my guess. But
we don't know. Yeah,
we don't know. And I think it's important to know that phase one, there is a allotted amount of tickets. It is not all of the tickets, so it's not. Right. It
won't be the only chance to get tickets.
They throttle it. Yeah.
So that's it. That's generally how it's going to work. You apply for a time to buy. A little different this time around. Second question.
Mm-hmm.
When is phase two?
Well, I only know this because I live and die by my Google Calendar, and that is phase one opens September 10th, 2025, and it closes September 19th, 2025. It is open for 10 days.
Boom.
9 days.
Well done. I gave you an easy one.
Yeah, it was a layup. Yours was multi-layered. So I apologize for even putting you into that position.
These are the things we need to know.
Exactly. So we know that we have to submit an application, and we have between September 10th to the 19th to do it. Mm-hmm. So here's the next, or the third question for you. Is this new updated phase one available and open to all fans? Like, it has to be, right?
The fact that you're asking is probably a hint that there's a bit of a clause there. Yeah, it's a great question. It's really important to know because the answer is actually no, it is not.
The people's game is not actually for all the people in phase one, it sounds.
I mean, technically it could be. Phase one is actually an exclusive event for Visa credit, Visa debit, and reloadable Visa prepaid cardholders. Put on my corporate voice there for you. FIFA has outlined very explicitly that only valid Visa cards that use Visa Secure, by the way, will be accepted during the Visa Presale Draw. So to me, that actually kind of suggests that you'll have to enter card information at some point along the way. Just fair warning.
Right, because they have to check that it's a valid card.
Absolutely. So with that caveat, let me ask you this next question, our fourth question. Let's say you meet all the criteria. You submit the application. How will you know that your application is successful?
So FIFA says that after phase one window closes on September 19th, they will process all the applications and let successful applicants know no earlier than September 30th. So just about 2 weeks later. Mm-hmm. So you won't know if you have a place in line to buy tickets until at least the end of September. That's really the long and short of it. Which, even just explaining this is leaving me a bit frustrated, actually quite frustrated, because we haven't really addressed what I see as the logical fifth and final question, which is, when are you actually going to be able to buy tickets, FIFA? Like, when? Tell us.
Yeah. So far, we know a lot of things, except when can I actually get the thing I want.
And like, this is still months beyond the normal time frame that we usually are on, which is you will know what your ticket purchasing is mostly looking like a year out from the first match, typically.
Generally speaking. But hey, if there's a lot of moving parts and things are changing, who knows?
So in your opinion,
question,
tell me what your opinion.
Answer your question.
Yeah.
October. Okay. You can buy tickets in October.
So, but like, when in October?
I don't know. Who knows?
Someone must know.
According to the back pages of the FIFA website, which, it's not an exclusive place, but we know where to find them. If your application is selected, you'll be assigned a date and a time in October. That's all it says. That's all we know.
So you get a slot.
You get a time slot. Yeah. There's a lot of questions probably that come from that. We can maybe get into some things and talk more about our predictions and recommendations for stuff. But generally speaking, that is all we currently know about for sponsorship reasons, Visa Presale Draw, or
Trademark.
the phase 1 of World Cup 2026 ticket sales. What are your thoughts on this process, this new-ish, slightly adjusted process?
How much time do we have?
Not a lot.
We won't belabor this because I'm sure everyone has these thoughts.
Short ponderings.
My first question is actually a bit on the logistical side, which is, you had said that Visa secure card holders. So that is anyone that's a Visa credit or a debit or even a reloadable Visa prepaid card holder.
Mm-hmm.
You can go buy a Visa prepaid card at Walmart and then put money on it.
Right.
So I'm wondering, do you then need to have a certain amount of money on that card for the lottery or not? Just a lot of stupid corporate. I mean, I think the song and dances, it's just corporate.
Great question.
It's a corporate gumbo. It's a corporate orgy, really. Everyone's just giving and getting
orgies. This is what you need to know about World Cup 2026 tickets.
I mean, in all seriousness, I think this is, I'm still very frustrated. I know that we have gotten accustomed to the way that FIFA has done ticketing in the past, and I know that this is going to be the most highly demanded World Cup ever. And, you've got to find ways to limit it. And maybe, hopefully, this will limit the need to wake up at 4 a.m. and stare at a little, animated guy walking to pretend like what your queue is, because we've spent countless hours of our lives doing that. So hopefully that is
I've never started counting. Yeah. So
right.
Countless.
But, so that's my thinking, is like, maybe this could create some greater efficiencies or saving people time. My guess is it's just another way for them to make more money.
100%.
And I don't know. It's frustrating to say the least.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Those are not too distant from my thoughts. Be great to know more concretely what the hell to expect. I feel like we kind of had it dialed in with the last 4 men's and the Women's World Cup in 2023. And now there's going to be some tweaks that probably are not going to work out in our favor. Let's be honest. So.
It feels a little bit, if you recall, a little bit of a Copa America scramble to the finish. Not nearly as much, but like they're withholding a lot of information. It's kind of coming together quickly, it feels like. So yeah, I just hope that it doesn't tarnish the fan experience and the ability to get people to the stadium and enjoying the games, because that's the most important part. That's the best part of it.
Well, so I think, life's all about kind of just setting your expectations.
Thanks.
Don't set them too high.
Speaking of expectations, I expected that we would score pretty well in this. So with this very completely unscripted quiz that we put together, what was our score? What did we get?
Perfect. We nailed it. We were 5 out of 5.
How did that happen?
Or you might say 5 for 5, which brings us to today's sponsor, Wendy's. If you want to get Wendy's new 5 for 5 now, I'm just kidding.
Oh man,
I'm not out here touting fast food.
I think that would work. A good JBC every now and then.
Ooh. All right, so let me ask you this. As someone who has been applying for and buying World Cup tickets for nearly 2 decades now, I mean, I think we're one more World Cup cycle away from doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
As someone who's been paying attention to the changes that FIFA has made to their ticketing processes over the years, what are you foreseeing when it comes to, other specific details for future sales phases? There's been some examples we kind of alluded to with the way they've done dynamic pricing and Copa America tickets. But do you have any predictions on things that fellow footy fans and travelers might expect? Things you're banking on?
I mean, expect the unexpected with FIFA right now. Everything seems to change. I think there's going to be two styles of pricing that could happen. There's either dynamic pricing, which is new and we have not experienced it, but it would look probably similar to the high demand pricing that, major concert tours go through, like Taylor Swift,
or like
for
the
instance.
Club World Cup just went through.
Or the club. Yeah, exactly. Which, as they haven't officially said it, but the Club World Cup was sort of a dry run for the World Cup itself in terms of the stadiums that they were using for most of the part, the ticketing and things like that. So I would imagine I would take all or most of the cues from the way the Club World Cup worked. Unfortunately, not the prices, because you could get really cheap match tickets to the early rounds for the Club World Cup because demand wasn't super high. Early on, at least. And then it started catching steam, and then the tickets for the final were reasonably more expensive. But
I would say there might be a better chance than past World Cups for that situation, though, given that the group stage is expanded.
That's true. That is true.
I don't know.
I'm hopeful for that as well. I would say from a U.S. fan perspective, that won't be the case. As U.S. fans that have gone to other World Cups, I believe that they try to get as many, fans from around the world into stadiums. And so even, for instance, like when we went to Russia in 2018, the U.S. didn't qualify, but I think our chances of being U.S. nationals maybe helped us in some regard get some tickets because of just the fact that they were trying to get other nationalities there. But now that it's being hosted in these 3 countries, I would imagine the demand for tickets to see the U.S. play will be challenging.
Gotcha. So quick aside, you mentioned the fact that we were U.S. nationals applying for tickets for a World Cup that the U.S. was not participating in. For anyone who doesn't know this already, when you do set up that FIFA account, you kind of declare, what country you're supporting or where you're from. And so to Mike's point, if they see that on your application and you declare a country that maybe isn't as popular or sort of sending as many interested ticket holders or ticket applicants, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how this random selection process works.
Right.
So anyway,
I do think it
what other predictions?
Makes me wonder. It makes me wonder about because this is a 3-country hosted tournament.
Yeah.
Are they going to have the category 4 tickets that we've been used to or accustomed to in past World Cups, which is only available for nationals of the host country or countries?
Yeah. And at a very discounted price.
Right. And if they will be available during the Visa, the phase 1, like maybe they won't be available for that.
I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I don't think there will be. If there's dynamic pricing, then there's really no categories.
Right.
You just pick a seat and then, how much is that seat worth? So it's up to the market. Yeah. The platform itself, consistently for previous World Cups, FIFA has sold tickets on their own platform.
Mm-hmm.
They switched to Ticketmaster for the Club World Cup.
I bet it's going to be on that. You
think it'll be Ticketmaster?
I think so. I want to say that everything has to be corporate tie-in. There's benefit. There's money to be made by FIFA to having a corporate sponsor take it on, and there's less liability. So
less risk, at least same reward, if not more.
Right? Wow. I mean, because you look at like Ticketmaster has crazy service fees. If they then part of their deal cut out an X amount for FIFA, then they're like, yeah, even if we price them the same, you're still going to be able to get a larger benefit or margin because you'll just be baked into our service fee.
Gotcha. So then how does that, when it comes to resale, what do you think? If it's on Ticketmaster, I think the resale question is obvious. Would there be a chance that there is a separate FIFA backed or FIFA developed resale platform?
So yeah, the reason you asked that, for those that don't know, in the past, FIFA would allow you to resell your ticket back to them. And if it was then sold, they would give you a portion of the money that you paid for it.
Yeah. You could basically mark it up maximum 10%.
Yeah.
And basically FIFA would take 5% from the buyer and 5% from the seller. So 10% really, if you mark it up 10%, you got your money back close to it.
Right.
It'd be silly not to do that, but yeah.
Yeah. So I would imagine that if it's through Ticketmaster, it would be through Ticketmaster's resale platform, which might be a better experience for those that couldn't get tickets in the initial rounds. But I think it's going to be a more expensive venture, because I don't think they'll have as many like protocols and thresholds that they could or could not go to. So like you could be seeing match tickets that are 5,000% inflated if they don't put restrictions on it.
Sure. Yeah. What about your recommendations then? So like, we kind of have an inkling or a suspicion that, it's going to go a certain way with this World Cup and the ticket sales. What would you recommend as an experienced footy traveler? More so as an individual fan, not necessarily like someone traveling together, you and I, but just for the individual fan out there, how would you think about, or how would you strategize for buying World Cup 2026 tickets based on what we know so far and feel confident about?
So I would say, obviously, first, I'm going to recommend that you set up your FIFA account and try to get as many updates as possible. I'd also, secondly, recommend following the Footy Travelers newsletter, because we're going to send you updated, pieces of information around if we hear anything regarding timing and tickets. So, like and subscribe, got to do it.
It's for the best.
Yeah. But then I would say, logistically, you kind of have two approaches in my mind, which is one being financial. In the past, you typically would know how much tickets were going to cost within each category. And so you would then be able to say, okay, I'm only going to be going for category 3, which is typically the cheaper ticket. And I'm only going to look for X number. And you roughly know what amount of money you could or would be spending generally. This time, because we don't know if there's dynamic pricing or not, I would say set a financial limit and understand that it might be overwhelming or potentially underwhelming in terms of how many tickets are available for under the price that you are setting. So set a limit and say, I'm only going to spend X amount of dollars on tickets if they are available, because no one likes to get to, wait through a portal to get a ticket. And then you see the first price and it's sticker shock. And you're like, well, I just waited for however long and went through some whatever lottery system to find out that I'm priced out of this and I can't even pay for it.
This isn't happening.
Right. So that's a bummer. Helps manage expectations, as you mentioned before. The second is the strategy behind it, which is you may be interested in making this a trip, right? You want to go to maybe a new stadium or a new city or a new country that you've never been to and watch footy. Or you may just want to be like, I'm looking for local, like the parent, the dad that's like, I just want to take my kid. And so I want to get to the nearest stadium and just watch a match there. Don't care who it is.
Bless you all living in host cities.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But then there's also the element of, the diehards. Like, I want to follow my team and I'm going to go team specific. I'm going to find where they play and go wherever. Exactly. And then there's round specific. Some people are like, I only want to see a final, or I only want to see group stages. And so I would say, which is something that we have mastered, and I would say I've complimented you in the past about it, but you are a spreadsheet master. And I would, gamify it, like build out some game theory and figure out, okay, if these are available or these prices or this is where it is, like put the schedule on a screen, see where everyone's playing and how it all looks, and determine, do I want to go travel for this club, for this national team, or do I want to only focus on certain regions or teams or pricing? There's so many factors at play.
Yeah. And focusing on regions is a good thing to consider given how large the geographic area will be for this World Cup.
Yeah.
When it comes to the sizes of countries, like, the World Cup was hosted in Russia. Russia's bigger than the US landmass wise, but when it came to where the host cities were, it actually wasn't that big.
Right.
Between Canada and both coasts of the US and Mexico, this is going to be, again, the biggest one, the one with the most distance between things.
Right.
So,
and just a little, if people don't know, a little helpful hint, and I'm pretty certain that they'll be doing it this way. Mm-hmm. FIFA organizes regions by groups, or groups are organized in particular regions. Typically, they try not to have teams scour the country that is hosting as much as possible. So typically they'll have them playing their group stages in like potentially 3, maybe 4 different locations, but rarely is it all 4 different locations. It's usually like 2 to 3.
Yeah, well, 3 group stage games. There can only be maximum of 3 different locations, but you might have
in those
2 in one.
Well, these are going to be. There's going to be more. No,
more what?
There will be more groups, or no, there's just more groups.
There will not be more group stage games.
Right.
There is one additional round, the round of 32 now.
Right.
So instead of group to round of 16, we go from group to round of 32.
Right.
Given the 48 teams playing in group stage. But yeah, we know this just from looking at, the host cities' schedules right now. We know that the US is playing West Coast. We know that Mexico is playing in Mexico. We know that Canada is playing in Canada. I guess the only bummer for Canada is that they're playing in Toronto and Vancouver, which, is side to side, east to west, a little bit for them. But
yeah,
when you only got 2 host cities and you need to spread your love around your country, you're only left with 2 options. So,
right.
Yeah.
So, right. So those are my recommendations. But what about you? I'm sure you've got a whole slew of ones that I haven't said.
Yeah, I've certainly thought about it quite a bit. For me, I'd say there's. I'll start by saying this. I think there's 2 fundamental approaches to booking World Cup tickets and travel, kind of thinking about those things together. There's the sort of matches first, or, match tickets first approach. You wait until you confirm your tickets, your game tickets, before you book flights and accommodations and everything else. And then there's the logistics first approach that says, there's always going to be a ticket in the end. Let me go ahead and sort out all my flights and accommodations and all that stuff first. And I actually think that is kind of true, that there is always a ticket somewhere.
For a price.
Yes. My recommendation then, if we're talking about recommendations, it's to decide right now what kind of footy traveler you are. Are you? Whoa!
I didn't know that this was like a introspective. Like I had to like really be self-aware.
We're going deep. This need to know episode is all about the need to know who you are.
That's our phase 1 before you buy tickets. You need to know who you are.
The phase 1 of the footy traveler's self-actualization ticketing process. But really, I mean, know what you're up against, and then decide what you're up for and up against. If you're the kind of person that needs to be or wants to be kind of smart and calculated or frugal with your money, I think you take the matches first approach. You kind of spare your credit card or your wallet the cost of booking all those logistics too far out. Or at the very least, maybe you have enough sort of liquid cash to book everything for that fully refundable price, just in case things don't work out. If liquid money, and maybe you've been very financially savvy and you've saved up for this, liquid money is not really a big issue for you. But let's be real. I think anyone who hasn't gotten hospitality tickets yet and is banking on this general sales phase, liquid money is probably a consideration. It's at least a consideration for me. It's an issue for me. But if you're prepared to just go for it, then go ahead, book the flights, book the room now. But also be prepared then, if you're playing that there will always be a ticket game, there's the possibility that you don't get a ticket online. You show up to a host city. You don't have a ticket. You've booked your travel first. And either you never find one, or at least an affordable one, or you're in that situation where you feel like you've come all this way. You don't want to cut your losses. You're fully invested. You're doubling down. You can't go home without going to the game. And all that's left are these crazy expensive tickets, and you still pay out of your ass for it. So if you're willing to deal with that kind of stress, I think it's kind of a stressful situation as I talk about it and think about it, right now, imagining it. But if you're up for that kind of stress, take the chance that there's a reasonable ticket from a desperate buyer, maybe last minute, go for it. But yeah, you got to be confident that there's always a ticket, which I think I am actually fairly confident there is. Do I want to deal with that stress is my question. So,
and I mean, we've been in that position too, right? Like we've been in places where we didn't have a match ticket, but we really wanted to go to the match, and you've got to be able to be prepared to, go down to the stadium and see if people are scalping and ask around, and
like a bar beforehand, or like you just get out there though. It takes physical effort. Yeah.
Right. And that's a lot of, and that's a stressor, but also like, how much am I actually going to have to pay to be able to get in? That's a stressor. So I do think, as we have to decide what kind of footy traveler we are in this current moment, I think it is also a little bit of an example of just sort of the division of what a lot of people are dealing with, which is like, how am I going to be able to get to a game and have it not have me not lose my shirt to go? And then there are those people that can pay for all of those hospitality tickets, and it's not even it doesn't even bother them. And so I think there is going to be those people that have that liquid money that can make an impulsive decision late that won't be having tickets available to them. And so there will be this weird gap, I would say, where maybe there is ticket availability for those hospitality packages and stuff. Like, I feel like those may not sell out early on because of that sort of like, I don't have to worry about it until I know kind of people.
Well, I did hear this, and maybe this is a little ray of sunshine or a piece of good news. I don't know where I heard it. It would have to be fact checked, but it sounds like the reason they're going so hard on these hospitality tickets is to just sort of maximize what they can get early on. Right. Sure. Get your revenue early. Whatever they don't sell as hospitality tickets, they will sell as general sales tickets. So they'll kind of remove all those hospitality perks from that physical seat and just sell the seat at a lower cost to get, again, more butts and seats. More people in the stadiums. So hopefully that's true. That would make sense, I guess. If you're not selling an $18,000 package and you can sell it for $500, $500 is better than zero. So
right. Right.
And less chicken fingers and sliders you got to prep for the club level. Because what are they going to have? I don't know.
Hopefully chicken fingers and sliders.
Yeah, and French fries. Good old American pizza. Well, this has felt great, being back behind these mics and talking footy travel and talking World Cup tickets. We haven't done that in a few years now.
It's been a bit. And just the World Cup fever. It's feeling like it's here. It's ready. I think as much as the people gave the Club World Cup a little bit of a bad rap, I think it spoiled us, because when there was that 2-week lull where there was no footy happening, or like really a lot of competitive footy, I think people were like, oh man, I was pretty spoiled. Like, I even said that to a friend. I was like, EPL's not on and Club World Cup ended like 2 weeks ago, and yet now I'm excited for it. So this is gonna be a great summer.
When you're sort of dishing out the opium of the masses, Mike, what you really do is just like cut them off hard at least once and just like see how much they really need it, and then kind of like, get them back into it. But
that got dark.
Oh, this guy, where's he coming from? Well, again, it's felt great. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for joining me again here on the pod.
It's always great to be here, and I'm excited about when we learn more, how we are going to inform you all of the news that we have, and preface it that don't kill the messenger. All right. Hey. If we come with bad news or not so great news, we are not part of FIFA.
There might be some.
Colin's wearing an illegally sponsored shirt right now. So, I mean.
Bro, all right. Before Mike blows up my spot anymore, I'll also say thank you to everyone who is listening. Those of you who are watching this on YouTube, be sure to check out the best of our previous episodes on our new, just released earlier this year, YouTube channel. It's another thing we were doing since January. Of course, you can listen to our entire podcast library anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you want footy and travel news delivered straight to your inbox once a month, sign up for our newsletter.
Do it.
If you want to follow our other goofy but incredibly informative escapades, or you want to win our occasional giveaway, follow us on Instagram. If you want to indulge in the real thing and join us on our next trip, we're going to Mexico City for Dia de los Muertos weekend again this year. Sign up. You can find all this information on our website, footytravelers.com, or in the show notes. So check those resources out. And if you ever need to reach us, just shoot us a DM. You can reach out to us over email, footytravelers@gmail.com. But in the meantime, Mike, have you missed this as much as I have?
Always. I've been yearning for it. You spoke about opium. I feel like that's where I'm on withdrawal.
Feel it course through your veins, Mike, because here it comes. In the meantime, fellow footy travelers, be loud,
be proud,
and be good
to each other.
We'll get the timing back.
Let's get the rust off,
Yeah, we'll be fine.